Hello and welcome to the Weekend Eve. I am Brian Cress, the Awesome Voice, and this is Any Given Sunday on KUAW. I've got Coach 24 Darwin Penny, who is, I think he's still partying out in Seattle from the All-Star game. So he is not here tonight, but we got the man behind the scenes running the show, DJ Scatter, George Walker. So anyway, and I am telling you, I am running on fumes because this heat is a killer. And I for people who don't know, I do deliver mail in my regular profession. So, and even though I don't walk a route, it's still very, very, very hot getting in and out of the truck. And just to add on, the 11th and 12th of this past week was Amazon Day, Amazon Prime Day. So everybody was buying Amazon. So today was I believe the first, well, actually it was Tuesday and Wednesday. So today was the first day that we really received all the packages from Amazon Prime, and we had a ton of packages. So a lot of mail, a lot of packages, and a lot of heat. Now I will say this for the city carriers in my office, they had been working really, really hard because the routes have been down, so they have been working multiple routes. So it is it's been really, really trying for them. Well, today they were able to just run their route, and so I give them, I am so glad that they were able to do that, because I don't know when the next time they will get that opportunity to just run their route without running other routes. So, but anyway, but Amazon, Amazon is the largest river also in the United States, or not in the United States, in the world. And that is I believe it's in Africa. So I'm telling you, my brain is fried. So if I don't know something, give me a call and let me know. 816-599-6893 is the phone number. And you can give me a call if you want to speak your piece, you got a question, whatever. I will be more than glad to answer the question. So in sports, well, here, first of all, I've got to mention this. I just purchased a brand new car. about 4 weeks ago, I got in a wreck. So I had um, lost my car. I'd been driving around in a rental and everything, or my daughter was letting me borrow her car, which was very sweet of her. I greatly appreciate her help, and so with that, I had to go out. I had to purchase a brand new car, not a brand new car, but it's a new car. So I ended up getting a 2017 Ford Escape, charcoal gray. I am not getting black. Black has been bad for me. Obviously, driving a vehicle. So I love wearing black. Obviously, I'm wearing one now. But I had ran home real fast. I was going to change shirts and put like a Royal shirt on or a jersey or something, and I just totally forgot. I walked in, dropped my stuff off, and I walked back out the door. And I was like, as I got here, I was like, oh, that was the reason why I went home. So anyway, but so like I said, Coach 24, he was in Seattle with the All-Star game. And the All-Star game was a pretty good game from what I heard, because I was getting ready to watch it and I fell asleep. I was out. And so I ended up waking up at midnight and I had to figure out what happened and everything. So I've got notes to let me know exactly what happened. But I will say this. In the first time in 11 years, the National League won the All-Star game. Now, when I was growing up, from 1972 to 1982, the National League had beat the American League. And so I was an American League fan because obviously of the Royals and everything else. But the American League just could not beat the National League. In fact, I want to say that right after they ended up winning in 1983, and I believe it was in Boston, was the All-Star game. I don't remember it offhand, but I remember it, and the American League ended up winning, but the National League ended up winning like the next 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5. So from like 1972 to roughly 1990, nearly a 20-year period where the National League just completely dominated. Well, in 2012 or 2013, the American League was dominating, and they had won they won all the All-Star games from 2013 up to this past year. So, and it was 9 games in a row, which is the second most of a winning streak behind that 10-game winning streak that the National League had, and from 72 to 82. Now, saying this real quick, I have Mr. Walker available, so I am going to ask him. Mr. Walker, how are you doing tonight?
You know, I'm doing just fine this evening. This has been a good day, and I am blessed. So this is great.
Absolutely. So last week, we did not have a show. It wasn't because it was the 4th of July, but it could have been indirectly because of the 4th of July, because Mr. Walker, DJ Scatter, him and his wife went on vacation, and a well-needed vacation. So we couldn't do the show. We can't do the show without him, so we just took a week off. And how was that vacation?
Well, I tell you, it was great to get away. I spent some time with my granddaughter. We went to the Grand Canyon. We kind of scared my wife a little bit because she doesn't like heights.
Ooh, oh, no.
But we had a great time there. We went out to California, visited with family, had a great picnic out there. Picnic's been going on in the same park for 73 years.
73 years?
73 years.
This is your family, right?
Yes.
So your family, not your wife's family.
Right.
Okay.
And
wow.
for 73 years in the same park.
So where was Where was this park at?
This Val Verde Park in Los Angeles, Los
wow.
Angeles County.
Oh, wow.
So that was really a great time. I got out there, tried to play some softball, found out I'm getting a little bit behind the swing, a little bit
Oh, no.
behind the pitch. So
Wait. I have to ask you, did you play better than some of the Chiefs players did at the MVS's All-Star game?
Well, I tell you, now we were close to on par. I did hit the ball, but it did not go far. I got on base.
Hey, there you go.
There
Because some of those Chiefs players struck out.
Yeah.
Now, except for Patrick Mahomes, who was crushing them over the 347.
Yeah, I did get on
sign.
base, but I had to get a substitute in.
You needed a pitch runner.
Yeah, so got a pitch runner in.
So you got
after
like
that.
a grandson or great grandson.
Granddaughter.
There,
Or something.
there you go.
She was able to play, and I said, well, heck, you might as well just stay in there, you know?
So you showed up, you made your appearance, and then you let the youngsters
There
take
you
over.
go.
That is awesome.
It was a fun time. It was a fun time. I'll have to show you some pictures from it.
Well, absolutely.
That's
I
for
will
sure.
definitely look forward to seeing those. So I was talking about Coach Penny, Darwin Penny, Coach 24, being out in Seattle for the All-Star game, and I believe he was out there for the draft too. And the Royals, their number one draft, the 8th pick in the 2023 MLB draft. And I'll tell you what, before I say who it was, they were booing Manford probably worse than Goodell at some point, because whenever you remember when Goodell comes up, but he actually enjoyed getting booed. But Manford, man, was getting, oh my gosh, he was getting rudely booed and everything. So now there was a 9-year-old kid, or no, 11, I believe 11-year-old kid that had cancer, and he beat cancer, and he got to announce the first pick for the Seattle Mariners, and I can't remember the kid's name offhand or who Seattle picked, but they did have 3 picks in the first round. Actually, they had 1 pick in the first round and then 2 compensatory picks. I believe it was like 30 and 31 or 29 and 30 or something like that. So they got a lot of picks in the first round. But anyway, the player that we got from the Royals picked up was a catcher from Texas high school, and I can't think of the high school, but I believe it was Blair Mitchell. I know his last name was Mitchell. I believe it was Blair, but he was a really good catcher. But I heard that the last 10 catchers drafted in the first round have only 5 of them has become a major league player. One of them is the catcher for Baltimore. I believe it's Hammerly or something like that. Achi or something like that. I'm telling you guys, my brain is just worn out. So please forgive me. And if anybody is listening, and I know all my fans are out there listening, if anybody knows, give us a call or at least message up, and DJ Scatter will look for it for you, and he can let me know. So, but anyway, so the thing about this catcher is he can also throw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and for a high schooler to do that, that is awesome. Not very many of them can do that. I know that we had one in the mid-90s, Colt Griffin. He threw in the hundreds. He was also from Texas, and he threw in the hundreds, but he never really panned out. So I'm hoping that this guy will be a decent player and everything else. Now saying that, I do not know the other players that the Royals drafted, and I was actually hoping that when Coach 24 comes back, we can get a update on that and see all those players, and then figure out and get his assessment on what he thinks of these players, because him himself was a Major League Baseball player, and he played in the organization. He played in the Montreal Expos organization, Pittsburgh Pirates, and I believe Chicago Cubs. So he is a good voice of opinion with that, and he is also a Royal Scout. So maybe he picked that guy up. So we'll just have to figure that out. But anyway, the last time that the National League had won an All-Star game, Joey Votto was still the only Major League active player to still be around from the starting lineup. So he was still the only player that was in the lineup of either All-Star teams in 2012. And the Houston Astros were in the National League, and Matt Holliday was 6 years away from retirement and now has a son who is baseball's top prospect. It was the first All-Star game for Mike Trout and Bryce Harper, and that was the year of 2012. And so at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, a crowd of 47,159 fans watched as Elias Diaz, a 32-year-old catcher from the Colorado Rockies, won the MVP by hitting a 2-run homer that that offset a 2-1 deficit and made it 3-1, or made it 3-2, and they ended up winning. So it was a first All-Star lead change in the 8th inning or later via home run since Hank Blaylock of the Texas Rangers did it in 2003. And it was off of the Orioles closer Felix Bautista. And so, and a night where actually I was thinking that Shohei Ohtani would probably maybe be the All-Star MVP, or Hernandez from Seattle would get it, and it wasn't the case. It was a catcher, and from the looks of it, I believe he was the backup catcher, because I'm not sure who like I said, I was going to watch this game. I was going to take notes. I was going to do everything, and I fell asleep. I was out, O-U-T, and I woke up at like 12:30, and I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. And I had a whole bunch of people calling and texting me, wanting to know, what I was doing and everything else. And man, I was throwing out those Z's like a pitcher throwing, or like Geraldo's Chapman throwing out those 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. So Diaz is also the first player to be named the All-Star MVP as a representative of the Colorado Rockies. He is also the first player to be named All-Star MVP in his team's lone All-Star representation since the Hall of Famer Cal Ripken Jr. did it in 2001 with the Orioles. So I mean, he did. That is some big names, and a long time since something like that happened. 20 years since the home run late in the innings, and 22 years since the lone representative. Usually you have a pitcher or you have the starter, and this guy was a backup. He was the backup catcher, and Julio Rodriguez, um, he stepped up to the plate with 2 outs and Kyle Tucker on base in the ninth inning. So they were going to give it a shot, but ended up happening that he got shut down. Um, so he got an out because obviously if that would have been the case, no, he drew a walk. He drew a walk, which brought up Jose Ramirez, which has been really playing very good baseball, but he struck out on 5 pitches against Craig Kimbrell of the Phillies, and so it was over. So congratulations to the National League for doing that. Now, I just want to say congratulations to Patrick Mahomes because he was the SP's 2023 player of the he was the best male athlete on SP as for 2023. So based on the year of 2022. So this is his second time that he has won this award. Now, there have been there's been multiple players, I think 5. I think he's the 5th player, quarterback, to win multiple male athlete. And I'm trying to think here. We got him here. Now, the first one, this is a 30-year award. So 1993 was the first year. And the first one wasn't obvious. Michael Jordan. He totally dominated that year, winning the NBA and everything else. So, in '94 was Barry Bonds, '95 Steve Young, '96 Cal Ripken Jr., '97 Michael Johnson, who won by getting the 400-yard dash, and I want to say he did it. What was it? He did it in 50. No, it was like 48.32. I mean, he was just smoking it. Oh no, I know what it was. It was the 200. So right, so he won it in 1932. He ran under 20 seconds in that. And I mean, I still remember the expression on his face when he got that record. So, and then in '98, Tiger Woods and Ken Griffey Jr. tied. They both won the award. Mark McGwire won it in '99 based on what happened in '98 when the home run record got broken. And then 2000, 2001, and 2002, Tiger Woods won his second, third, and his fourth male award. And then Lance Armstrong from 2003 to 2006 won it 4 straight years. And I don't care what you say about him. What he did was amazing. And to do it with cancer, I know he cheated, but I know there's probably a lot of people out there that has cheated and gotten away with it. He didn't get away with it, but still, what he did was an amazing performance. So, and then 97 was LaDainian Tomlinson, and then 2008, Tiger Woods got his 5th award, which is the record. He leads all athletes. And then 2009, Michael Phelps, because he totally dominated in the 2008 Olympics. And then 2009, Drew Brees, based on winning the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl MVP, and bringing back New Orleans from literally underground, being, with Katrina taking, doing the damage that they did the year before. So now the first foreign athlete, because all of these players that have won from 93 to 2010 were Americans. The first non-American was Dirk Nowitzki, and he won it in 2011. And then you got LeBron James in 2012, 2013, and then you had Kevin Durant, who won it in 2014. Then you had Stephen Curry win it in 2015, and then LeBron winning it again. That was when he won his title for Cleveland and made Cleveland a very proud of him again after they burned his jerseys for leaving to go to Miami, winning not three, not four, all those awards. So he had his third one. And then in 2017, Russell Westbrook. Then you have the second foreigner. You got Alexander Ovechkin, the center for the Washington Capitals. He won it in 2018. And then Giannis Antetokounmpo won it the next year for the Milwaukee Bucks, and he's from Greece. And then 2020, they did not have one based on that year of COVID. And so a lot of things didn't happen because of COVID, but the award didn't happen, so nobody was awarded. And then in 2021, Tom Brady. And then 2022, the fourth and last so far foreigner was from Japan in Shohei Ohtani. And then this year, Patrick Mahomes won it. Now, he has won it. He has won the top football athlete, the most valuable player of the NFL. And so he he is one of five, I believe, five players or five quarterbacks. Let me rephrase that: five quarterbacks to have won multiple football player of the years. So, and the others are 96 and 97, Brett Favre. Then you had Peyton Manning doing it 3 times, and I believe he did it in 2001, 2002, and then 2000. I want to say 2007 or something like that. I cannot remember that one offhand. And then you had Tom Brady winning it 2008, 2016, and 2018. And then the most was Aaron Rodgers. He has won it 4 times, which is the most out of the football players. And he won it in 2011, 2012, 2007, or 2015, and 2017. So he hasn't won it in a few years, even though he has won the MVP player of the NFL, but not through the ESPYs. So, but anyway, so we got that going on. Now, saying that, Richardson, the Quentin Richardson, I think that's what is. Oh my gosh, Quentin, the defensive lineman for the New York Jets. I want to say it's Richardson, but I know it's Quentin. Maybe it's Quentin Anderson or something like that. But anyway, he is he just signed a deal today, saying that a 4-year deal for $96 million, and he's got $66 million guaranteed. So he is now, I believe, the highest paid defensive player. Well, at least he's got the biggest contract now. I know that Aaron Donald has
was that Quentin Williams?
Quentin Williams, that's what it was. I knew it was a common name. I just couldn't get it. So I'm telling you guys, I am kicking butt, but I'm still fighting through it. I'm fighting through it. So I feel like I've been going through a few rounds with Mike Tyson, though I've been running away from him instead of getting hit by him. So oh yeah, absolutely. So but anyway, so Quentin Williams of the Jets. He's got a new contract, so now he is happy. He's going to be a captain. So now we're determining what Chris Jones will do, getting his contract, because I know he was looking for a new contract, and the Chiefs want to give him a new contract. He is worthy of it, but I'm thinking, and I've heard numbers and everything else, but I'm thinking that he should get something probably in the excess of $100 to $102 million, and I'm going to say he's going to get more of the guaranteed than Williams did, but not much more. I would say probably in the excess of about $72 million, in between 68 and 75. So we'll just do that. But for now, we are at halftime on the Any Given Sunday show. Brian Cress, the Awesome Voice, Coach 24 Darwin Penny, and DJ Scatter George Walker on the show. 816-599-6893 is the phone number, and it's KUAW. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will discuss more stuff, more sports. Now, I do have a story that I think is pretty awesome, so I'm going to mention that. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be back shortly. And we are back on any given Sunday on KUAW, KUAW.org, or you can call in at 816-599-6893 is the phone number. I am Brian Cress, the Awesome Voice, with Coach 24 Darwin Penny and DJ Scattered George Walker. So I was mentioning something, Coach 24 was out in at the All-Star game out in Seattle. Well, another Kansas City flavor was also out there, Mr. Bob Kendrick, and he was out there. He was on the black carpet last night, or this was 2 days ago, for the Players Allowance Game Changers celebration. And so there was former players, Mike Cameron, Ken Griffey Jr., along with others, Mariners play-by-play great David Sims. They were all honored. And the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum has a little bit of love, got a little bit of love too. So they got some exciting news. I am not exactly sure what it is yet, but they will definitely do that. Now, do you have some information on that?
Yeah, just a second. We're getting this back up. I am so glad to announce, let's see, give me a camera on here so they won't just hear the voice. Okay, I know how to do this too. All right.
There he is.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Questlove, and some of you may remember him. He did a documentary on what was it? The Summer of Soul, which they found some old recordings of Sly and the Family Stone and the Staple Singers and all of that had been done as sort of like a like a Woodstock type of thing, but it was done in New York and Harlem.
Oh, wow.
And he had brought that back. Well, now he's partnered with another, let me get that up here now, another documentary that's coming out on the Negro Leagues and baseball. Let me just had that. And I will tell you, it's going to be a new documentary that is out on Netflix. And I tell you, I thought I had this ready. There we go. Okay, it's Mr. Sam Pollard. Pollard is making it. It's called The League. And I think that's going to be out this week or next week. And it's the story of the Negro League Baseball. And Questlove is the producer behind this documentary. And it talks about the Negro Leagues. And this is from a guy who grew up in St. Louis watching the Cardinals and knew a lot of the black players but didn't know about the Negro League. Says he remembers Kurt Flood, Bill White, Lou Brock, and all those. He said he knew who Jackie Robinson was, but he did not know much about in 1964 as a 14-year-old was that they had come out of the Negro Leagues, and the Negro Leagues had been home to the black and Latino ball players in the time of segregation. So if you watch the movie 49, you saw when the color barrier was broke. Well, now as the Oscar-winning director Questlove is bringing back this movie that is produced and is going to be released. Oh, it's out now. It was released July the 7th.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
So if you've got Netflix, you get a chance to see that. And some of you may have seen it. And if you want to chime in, go to our Facebook page. If you're not watching us on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, go to our Facebook page and tell us what you think about the documentary called The League. So anybody out there that is listening, if you've seen The League, let us know. It's about Negro League Baseball. And the reason we brought that up is that we had some more news that was made concerning the Negro League Museum and its director that Brian has been chomping at the bit for.
Oh,
and here we go.
Absolutely. Maybe we can get him to come back to the show.
Yes, he is a friend of the station.
Yes, he is friend of the station, friend of the show. Though I would like to have Darwin on the show when that happens. But he got something that most that usually ball players get, whether it's football, baseball, whatever. Well, Topps gave him a players party baseball card, and I mean it looks sharp. I'll tell you what, if they could print out a lot of those and sell them, and the proceeds go towards the museum, I'll tell you what, I would buy one of them and maybe have him autograph it. That would just be phenomenal. But anyway, so as he says, thanks to Topps for my commemorative baseball card for Major League Baseball Players Association and Fanatics Players Party as part of this year's All-Star Game festivities in Seattle. Had a great time. And the card, as he says, the card's not worth much in the collector's market, but the memory is priceless. So absolutely, that is completely just awesome. I just can't, all these good things, for him, and what he does for the museum is just priceless. He is not the only person that runs the museum, but I will tell you what, he is the engine that runs it, and he does a phenomenal job. And if you guys have never been to the museum, 18th and Vine, you need to go down there. You need to go visit it. I don't know if he will be available to do tours, but if he is available, oh my God, have him do the tour. Have him do your tour. I mean, the storytelling is just amazing. If you think that Buck O'Neill was an amazing storyteller, he learned it from Buck. That's how he did that. So, and an hour ago, he just posted that Black Diamonds is back. It is a show that he has posted on Sirius XM, and I have listened to a few of those shows. I have not listened to all of them, and I do need to listen to them, but I have heard a few of them, and they are back with fire new episodes. And I don't know if that's fire or 5 new episodes, but it's catching fire. That's definitely for sure. And this week he caught up with an old friend and an outfielder who could catch it with the best of them, former Major League Baseball great and Negro League Baseball Museum KC Pop Lloyd Community Leadership Legacy Award recipient Mike Cameron. And he played for Seattle, so he played most of his career in Seattle. The award-winning Black Diamonds is now available on Sirius XM app or anywhere you get your podcast. So I'm telling you what, you need to get on there and you need to listen to it. It is a phenomenal. Bob Kendrick does a phenomenal job. Like I said, he is the man. And so absolutely, the guy is just priceless. So anytime I get a chance to hang out with him is always a good day with me. So and I'm definitely would love to get my kids and grandkids to go down there sometime and maybe have him do a show or do a tour for us. So, and if I'm not doing it offhand, you guys go down there and you guys get it done. So, but anyway, so we are at the halfway point, actually over halfway point in baseball. The Royals officially have the second worst record in baseball. They're 1.5 games ahead of the Oakland Athletics, who are at 25 and 67. The Royals are at 26 and 65. Saying that, I hate to say it. I hate to say this, but actually the Royals are the worst playing team right now in baseball. I know they are trying and everything else, but they are still the worst team in baseball. Hey, when Tampa Bay was 0-26, they may have been trying, but they were still horrible. But hopefully things will get better and they will start looking up for the second half. Now, saying that, um, Matty Myers, a pitcher, a veteran pitcher of the Royals, got traded to the Chicago White Sox, and for they only got cash considerations. So I don't know what the cash considerations was, but I guess the Royals got cash. They said, "Here, this looks like a nice product. I'm giving you some cash." So maybe they'll trade me and give me some cash or something like that. Do you think they'll do that, Mr. Walker? Oh no! Oh no! Uh-oh. Oh! Oh my goodness. Okay. Sounds good. So, right now the Tampa Bay Rays, and for the first time in their history, they are leading the AL East, and they had never done that before. Now they may have won the East later on in the year, but they have never, after All-Star break, was in first place. So they are in first place. Baltimore is in second. 2 games behind. They are 4 games behind in the win column, but they are tied with the loss column. And so Toronto Blue Jays are in third. And I will say, and let me say this real quick. Um, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He won the home run derby contest, and when he won it on Monday night, 16 years prior, his father won it in San Francisco, and so they are the first father and son tandem to win the All-Star break home run derby, and so congratulations to him, and that is a great accomplishment. He just edged out Rosaria from Tampa Bay, 25-24, I believe it was. So anyway, congratulations to him. And yeah, that was more important than mentioning that New York is in fourth place right now, and they fired their batting coach and hired and I'm trying to think. He is a former player, and I cannot think of his name offhand. So, like I said, I am still running on fumes, but I'm still doing this and getting it going. So, but New York is in fourth, and Boston is in fifth. Now, saying that, they are all better than 2 of the other teams. So Boston in fifth place with a 48 and a 43 record. They're 5 games over 500, with the exception of the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros. They are better. They have a better record than every other team in the American League. In fact, the American League Central is the worst division in baseball, with the Cleveland Indians losing to the Royals on Sunday before the All-Star break to go 500. They are at 45-45. Minnesota is a half a game back with a 45-46 record. And then you have Detroit, who are 11 games under 500. And then you have the Chicago White Sox, who are 16 games under 500. And then you got the Royals, who are they are 39 games under 500. They are on pace right now to lose 117 games. And it is not good. And that will shatter the record, I believe, of 104 losses for the Royals. So it is not good for them. So hopefully the second half they will pick it up. Now, the Western Division, Texas is leading with a 52-39 record, and then Houston is 2 games back with a 50-41, and then you've got Seattle, who is one game over 500. Um, you've got the Los Angeles Angels, who are one game under 500, and at 45 and 46. And then you have the Oakland A's, who are 32 games under 500 and has a worse record, the only team with a worse record than the Kansas City Royals. Now, going into the National League, you have the Atlanta Braves leading the Eastern Division of the National League with a 60 and 29 record, and with that, they have the best record in baseball. The Atlanta has the best record in baseball. Tampa Bay has the second best record in baseball. So Tampa Bay is the best in the American League, and Atlanta is the best in the National League. And then you've got the Miami Marlins, and I'm so used to saying Florida Marlins, but it's the Miami Marlins, and they are 14 games over 500 with a 53 and 39 record, and they are 8.5 games behind the Atlanta Braves, but they are also leading the wild card for the National League. Then you got Philadelphia, who is 7 games above 500, who are 12 games out. You have the New York Mets, who are just totally, they have spent so much money just to lose all this, and they're hoping that they'll get it going. I don't think they're going to get it going. They're not going to make the playoffs or anything. They are 6 games under 500 with a 42 and 48 record. And then you have the Washington Nationals, who have the second worst record in the National League, but they are 36 and 54, which is 18 games under 500. Now you've got the Cincinnati Reds, who are leading the Central Division, and Ellie De La Cruz is just pumping energy into the Cincinnati fan base and into that team. Are leading the Central Division with a 50 and 41 record, and they are a game ahead of the Milwaukee Brewers, who are 49 and 42. And then you've got the Cubs, who are 5 games under 500, and then the Pittsburgh Pirates, who at one time was 18 and 8 and in first place in the Central, is now down to a 41 and 49 record in fourth place, 8.5 games behind the Cincinnati Reds. And then you got the Cardinals, who are trailing the Central with a 38 and 52 record. Now you've got the Western Division. You've got the Dodgers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Both of them are in first place. Now the Dodgers are 51 and 38, and the Diamondbacks are 52 and 39, tied. So, and I believe the Arizona Diamondbacks are still the only team not to get shut out this year. I will double check that possibly, and make that. But I know up until at least a week or two ago, that they had never been shut out this season, which is an amazing accomplishment. Then you got San Francisco, who are 8 games above 500. They're 2.5 games back of the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, with a 49 and 41 record. And then you got the Padres, who are like the Mets, who are buying everybody, but they just can't seem to get it winning. And Padres are my second team. Royals are first, and Padres are 1B. So I love the Padres, but right now they are not playing very good ball. But they are only 4 games under 500, and they are they are 8.5 games back of the Dodgers and D-backs. And then you have the Colorado Rockies, who have the worst record in the National League at a 34 and 57, and they are 18 games back. So even though they have the worst record in the National League, they are still 8 games better than the Royals. So it just it's totally rough. So but I am getting I am getting close. I am going to try to finish this out as best I can. Um, I've got got a few more minutes here. Now tomorrow. Now I've been working out in the sun, delivering mail, all that. Well, tomorrow I'm going to get a break. I'm going to go to Oceans of Fun. My best friend, he gets us set up, and we're going to go eat, and then we're going to go to Oceans of Fun and kick back and relax. And I'm going to relax. I'm going to get in the water. I'm going to soak myself and get a nice tan. I'm going to have to shave my head and make sure that none of the stubble keeps me from looking really nice and tan. But my kids are going to go, so this is going to be awesome. This will be the first time that I will be able to go with my kids, because I have been going with my best friend Robert, Bob, for several years, and this was actually the first year that we've been able to do this since COVID hit. But we used to go every year about this time, so we are definitely going to enjoy it. And so I thank Bob Samay for doing all this and setting it up. So it's going to be totally awesome. So I just wanted to thank him. So we're definitely going to do that. And you know that it is close to Chiefs football when the Canadian Football League is already playing their games. There are already teams that have played 5 games in the league. You've got the Toronto Argonauts, you have the Montreal Alouettes, Ottawa Rough Riders, Hamilton Tiger Cats, British Columbia, I can't think of their name offhand, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Saskatchewan Eskimos. No, I do not know I can't remember them. Calgary Stampede, Edmonton Eskimos. So I got those. So let's look it up real quick and see who they are and everything else. So what is it? Oh, British Columbia. Oh. So I'm trying to get it going. Of the CFL. Oh, the Lions. That's what they are. They are the Lions. And so then you've got Saskatchewan. And I'm going to check that out. Oh. There we go. Ah. Oh, they are the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. So, what is Toronto Argonauts, Ottawa? Then I've got to figure out who the. Oh, here we go. CFL. There we go. The Tiger Cats, the Alouettes, and there's the Red Blacks. I'm trying to think who that is. I've never seen. Is it Calgary? The Calgary Red Blacks. I have never heard that before. So All right. Well, anyway, so right now Toronto Argonauts are the only team that are undefeated. They are 3-0 in the uh, in the East Division, and then you've got British Columbia Lions and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are tied at 4-1, and Saskatchewan Rough Riders are half a game back at 3-1. So we've got all that going on. So anyway, and then you've got MLS soccer. You've got the Sporting KC team. They've won 6, they've lost 10, and 7 ties. They don't score a lot of points, and they are they are 10th place, I believe. No, 9th. Nope, they are 10th place. They are in 10th place in the Western Conference. Leading is the St. Louis City team, and they have 38 points. But Cincinnati have only lost 2 games. So Cincinnati is just totally. I mean, they've got a good football team. Their baseball team is getting better, and now they just got a soccer team, and they have the most points in the MSL at 45 points with a 13-2-6 record. So, and yesterday, I do not know what happened, but the United States had played in the semifinals against Panama, and the other team was Jamaica and Mexico. U.S. versus Panama in the Gold Cup. So they tied, but Panama won on penalty kicks 5-1 or 5-4. So they lost, and yep, they fell. So they couldn't get enough penalty kicks. So yep. So I don't know who they're going to play. Oh, there he is. Yeah, I know. I was wondering where you were at. So anyway, the U.S. run for winning the Gold Cup championship is done, and they will. And I guess I do not know who they played. It doesn't give me a score, so let's do this again. Jamaica versus Mexico. No, I'm getting ready to go. So Mexico ended up winning 3-0. They defeated Jamaica, so now they will play Panama for the championship. And with that, we are at the end of Any Given Sunday on KUAW. Brian Cress, the awesome voice. Coach 24, my brother with another mother, Darwin Penny. DJ Scatter, George Walker running the show. And be awesome, not angry, and you guys have yourself a fabulous weekend. And people, it is hot out there. Keep your animals in. Don't have them out in the heat. If you don't want to be out in the heat, don't put them out in the heat. So get them in the house, have them stay cool, and you guys stay cool. And we will see you again soon.